Bonk. Cosmic Turnabout, Trial, Day 2, which is the last. No, I didn't want to save over that. I just want to go back. Okay. Anyway, we were interrogating Captain Bro. Yeah. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They are claiming that you were this third person. Forgive me, I'm so sorry. So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. And they have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? Oh, Blackwell. Arrgh! The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine, I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. I then went past the elevators and then all the way around to the boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene. What a troublesome old man you are with such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Oh, of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness. Now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Ms. Aura Blackwell saw was you. No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall. That is an excellent point. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. Well, it makes some sense if he told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof? I just remembered, I have an alibi. Ms. Blackwell said she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct? Yes, and? Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate with me. I don't know, is it because you're paying them off? The director is not fibbing to the court for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m. and that you arrived at the lounge after that? Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling. As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. Then again, maybe we don't need to yet. Wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Probably not. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. Of course. Keep forgetting that I was out in the sun for like 3.5 hours. Witness testimony. Maybe longer than that. Jeez. What I really witnessed. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot, but when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door and, well, the launch pad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Yeah, it probably was then. So you were shot at by the killer as well, and then they disappeared? Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured. Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember? Right. What a mess this is turning into. So, let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared, and the director went into the boarding lounge when Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his metal, it looks like one of them almost took him out, too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos. Yeah, is it? Silence. Shut up. A riddle of the ages indeed, but I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. Wow. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time. But he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand. Wow, that might be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple, because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all of the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. And I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. Yeah. I'm prepared to accept your surrender right, Dono. I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Huh? Oh yeah, the mood matrix. While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Wow. Nobody uses the word cacophony. Like they don't say plethora. Fingers crossed for your awful laptop not to die whilst you're gonna be fine. Just run it on low and you should be okay. I mean, I would at least keep it at 60 FPS though. I mean, I don't know if you mind, but playing things at 30 FPS like hurts my soul now on my PC because I'm like, man, this is really noticeable compared to 60. While the director was giving his cacophony of discord, which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This just might help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. You got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. Self-proclaimed great. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Wow, that's... Mood Matrix, go! As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. Why is he angry? Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess he'd be angry. Hate to avoid getting shot. But When I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door. And, well, the launch pad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Oh. Actually, that is weird. There should be an emotion here. I feel like he should have been surprised because the killer is gone. All depends on how it runs. Yeah, we'll see. Is it still like doing stuff right now? I figured it would have been done by now, but okay, there we go. Let's pinpoint surprise. You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually. And yet, at that time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. What? Why are you... I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right? What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Yeah, it hasn't crashed. See, that's always good. Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the southern door, I was standing right there. So there's nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Taryn, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door? I highly doubt it. As you recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet the director wasn't surprised that the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use. It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him. Okay, back into the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Okay. Surprise, surprise, no surprise. Why is that? Why is he sad? Why is he sad? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launch pad door. The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. I'm most certainly not. Director Cosmos. Yeah, they're all very strange. But whenever things go wrong, he starts acting like it's a game of Battleship and he's sinking. I don't really like that guy. I mean, I say that about everybody. Something about the launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Wow, he's speechless. Looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those 2 pieces of data and, yes, just what I wanted to see. Always level 70%. Presto changeo, less discord. Looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. Now to make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, we're talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. Or talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad 1 door. When we put those 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here? Was it... control room? Because he's afraid of it. Wait, would he have gone in there though? And that's the only one I can think of, because he keeps talking about the control room. The culprit went through the Launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they? Yes. I mean, no. Disaster to starboard. We're gonna crash into an asteroid. Shut up. I hate them. Master tactician, you are not. But the area beyond that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. And what if somebody else had an oxygen tank? If we can just figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. But that door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock, do you? That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past the security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security door. Oh, because he was unconscious. Where is he? That's... Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. Actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Ah! Yeah, that's not weird at all. Looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it? Huh? Oh yes, by all means. There's a security camera in the boarding lounge 1. Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic? I hope you didn't strain your facilities too much for that, your baldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point... Oh my, the footage cuts off! The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There's no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was such a good idea, too. I mean, it was, Judge, but we already went over things were being weird. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery doesn't mean you should try to show off too much, Grandpa Baldness. Wow, rude! Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild? How'd you know about me showing off? I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world. Yeah, maybe just a bit. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge? Graph, I must. Hey, what's going on, Ecstatic? We're about to nail this man on the head. Yeah, I had to avoid getting shot. The killer vanished. I went into the lounge. Info update. Oh yeah. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. Does this man, can he not walk? Sir, can you, why do you always, and then the detective shot at me. This poor guy's, oh no. So you see, the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad, right? Well, yeah. Detective shot at me. Is anger what we'd be looking for here? Surprise? Wait, yeah, he's super surprised about seeing Arm, but not very surprised about being shot. That seems a little odd. I'd be surprised about being shot. Sometimes it's less just really, it's just figuring out, because like, he was super surprised when she showed up. But yeah, I don't know, if I got shot, I'd be like, whoa. Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you, and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Oh, you shot it, yeah. Oh, you shot at me, I guess. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me? First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomena occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were more surprised when she came. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. Ah! The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy has acquired a new weapon! Commence Operation Hide Under Your Desk! Ah! You don't have a desk! Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. Yeah, this guy is annoying. Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean that he really is hiding something about that launchpad door. Could it be like the emergency open latch there? I mean, that's definitely what that knob is for. Yeah, 10 more days, I know. And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we can spot some change between before he came to the door and after. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime, so let's run a comparison. Oh, it is turned! It's turned because it was up. Now it, Let's see, this is the footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived, and this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. Hey, look at that! There is a change. Something is definitely different. Thank you, Professor Layton, for giving me photo puzzle games to spot the difference. They're all senile, apparently. Director Cosmos. Well, what is it? What have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation. Don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already. He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. The answer is this knob. Is that I guess it's a knob. Ah, that's... Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at the knob next to the launchpad door. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical. And what does that mean? It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. Ah! Well, that's not weird. After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos, let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door? Ah, fine, I admit it. Oh, he's dizzy. You're right, I did turn that knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away. You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for a launch?
Yeah, where they spin the building.
She said once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. Oh, so he was trying to move it to the launch site. I wish somebody would take that away from him. But the safety lock on the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. I guess that clears up what the knob is for. Oh, so if the killer escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along the launch pad to the launch site. I don't think so. The Launchpad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, where did the killer escape to? I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail. Fine. But listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony. Yeah, whatever. Shut up. I hate this guy. Keep saying like the same thing. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. Why are you so happy about that? I feared there might be more explosions, so I had to cut the launch pad loose. Surely the only escape the killer had was through launch pad 1. Oh wait, info update. But that area was full, there's a sea of smoke. Confound it, where on earth could they have gone? I'm gonna go with, what? Prosecutor's name? Wait, what? Oh, Spirit of Justice, Nayata Sadba. What the hell is that name? I don't know, I kinda wanna pinpoint him. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so, and yet when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself. Arrgh! How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there? Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back to the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. Arrgh! How do you know about that, too? Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing. I mean, this is true, but give yourself some credit, sir. The foreign pun names are horrid, yeah. What is, yeah, Nayuta Sadmadhi? I don't it's not in that, yeah, but it's, I don't know. I've never, I mean, granted, there are a lot of names I don't know about, but that just seems like, I don't know how to explain it. It just seems really weird. Yeah. I wonder, God. But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you, so there. I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake. Yeah, you're saying that you're gonna lie on the stand. And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence.
You, a man of integrity, don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? You've spouted nothing but falsity since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest barefaced liar an honor. Liar! Oh, his words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions? My, how naive you are. Hey, what's going on, Chica? Welcome. How are you doing today? You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. Your favorite nap time game? Well, I'm glad that I can help you relax. You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. Wow, Phoenix. And here's a thought for you immediately following the bombing. Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge 1 side. The police confirmed this on scene. What? Liar! So that means the director didn't move the launchpad? Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. Sore and sleepy? Yeah, I know I went out to the park again earlier today and it was really hot. It's like 92 or 93 degrees, but I think the heat index brings it up a few more. So we were doing our best to stay in the shade while we were walking around the park, and I was just like, man, it's just very hot. All right. Liar! How long are you? Shut up! Somebody punch him. Take away his segue. Yeah, that's okay. But I'm glad. It's always good to see you, Chica. But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. Oh, you're sore because you had cheese? Oh no! Cheese is so good though. But yeah, it sucks when it makes you hurt. Randomly looked in the first game as a category and half the people were playing Turnabout Samurai. Wow, nice. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. Dog! You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out? Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to, boy? I'm older than you, Blackwell, by like a lot. By a lot. Lactose intolerance, I know. Because RC also has lactose intolerance, but she does enjoy things. Although I think she said that her and Zunder are going completely dairy-free starting soon. Talk about hitting below the belt. Shut up, Athena, you're on my side. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Ugh. Wait a minute, maybe I have it all backwards. Time to flip the script again. What if the director turned the knob not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? And then after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it would be right where the police found it. Dog! My hair! Oh, okay, I have more than one hair. Depends on how severe. Oh, yeah, oh, that sucks. I know my sister and my mom have like a gluten intolerance and it can cause them to, yeah, like, it goes between them either getting like hives or getting, yeah, like stomach cramps if they eat too much, which sucks because gluten is in a lot of things, just like lactose is in a lot of different things, so. You made him sigh like Mr. Starbuck. Was what I said really that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, yeah, that's true. At least the amount of foods you can eat when you're lactose intolerant isn't that much hindered. It's mostly just a specific group, whereas, yeah, with gluten intolerance, it's like so many things, and quick meals tend to have it in there as like a binder ingredient or a thickener, which is annoying. Our great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astro Wonders made their escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. All right. So to reiterate, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Ugh. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Dog! Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved, but our deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taken with body doubles after the incident or something. Okay, that's reaching. On second of thought, that's too far-fetched, even for me. Never actually boarded the rocket. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went to another place? And what if, when the director moved the launch pad one back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the existential bull or I'll cut you. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once. But yeah, and I do like cookies, cake, and bread. Like I had a croissant sandwich that my friend made when we went to do Pokemon Go, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever, and I'd be really sad if I couldn't eat croissants. I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmos's reason for moving Launch Pad 1 was to switch it with another place. Getting rid of cheese. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure I'm not lactose intolerant. Sometimes I feel like I have reactions, but maybe it's just because of like, just my body is sometimes like, hey, maybe that wasn't very good. But most of the time, like I'm trying not to have as much milk and stuff like that. I usually just use it for cooking and all. You found lactose-free cheese, so you're switching to all. Yeah, that's why we were talking about that last night, weren't we? Where Zunder was like, I'm really gonna miss cheese, but you guys found like other stuff, so it should be okay. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he possibly have switched the launch pad with? Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. Allergy to eggs and nuts, but it's all right. You like to read the ingredients? Oh. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with Launchpad 1. Literally the only thing that could be switched with Launchpad 1. Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. In the past, Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. Oh, that's true. It has all the same features as Launchpad 1 and can even be moved to the launch site, meaning that the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other. You can't mean... The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum. Wow. What? What? And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. You have an allergy? Oh, yeah, that does say, like, I love eggs, but that's just because they're useful in, like, so many different things. So. Oh, man. God, I would hate having a nut allergy because I really like peanut butter. I like all kinds of, like, nut dishes and things. So I'd just be like, man, This sucks. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places. That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from Boarding Lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter the Launchpad 1 from Boarding Lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to Space Museum from Boarding Lounge 2... Oh. Voices. Oh, no.
Is it this one? I gotta mess with my thingy because it's... Wait a second. Is my... voice mod, are you being dumb again? Show yourself. Oh, there it is. Sometimes voice mod likes to do things. Okay, this is the robot. Okay. I wanted to make sure I was on the right one. Welcome, welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There's no fingerprint recognition system on that door. Because that was nuts to every kind. Oh, yeah. And the thing is, like, if you're allergic to nuts, it always seems like it's a deathly allergic thing. So even if it's like particulates of them, you can get like reactions from it. That sucks. Yeah, but I like peanut butter a lot. And like Nutella, even though that's like hazelnuts and stuff, you know, I just like spreads of all kinds. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. Ah! Hoisted by your own petard. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into Boarding Lounge 1 and waited there, concealed. In order to kill Mr. Terran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that Ms. Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who, we can suppose after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. So that's yeah, exactly. You're only moderately allergic to nuts? Okay, yeah, severe, it's terrible. I mean, it's like being severely allergic to bees, where like one tiny sting can basically kill you. It's not fun. Thankfully, I'm not allergic because I've been stung multiple times and I haven't had a bad reaction. It was painful because being stung by a bee doesn't feel good, but the killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. Ah! Right, Dono, I see you know how to handle a sword and handle it well. Says the guy who was just calling me a boy and being like, oh, you're dumb. And I'm like, fuck you, Blackwell, I'm smart. Perhaps I should call you Sword Master Bluff. I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor. Okay, Phoenix, calm down. Silence. But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. That's right, you have no proof I switched the launch pads. Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, launch pad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. You've never been stung by a bee, but got stung by wasps? Oh, no. See, and the worst part about wasps is the fact that they will just keep stinging you like forever because it doesn't kill them. And I'm like, wow, you guys suck and I hate you and go away. My brother got stung like a bunch of times by the same one when he was like cleaning a pool because it climbed onto his back. Because, you know, when they get stuck in the water, they just kind of stay there until they drown. But I guess there was one in there and it climbed onto his back. Instead of just flying away, it started stinging him. And I'm just like, wow, what an asshole. It was a yellow jacket, though, and those are known for just being very angry all the time for no reason. Last story, a guy smelled the kid's peanut butter sandwich, and then he wanted to give himself his... Didn't let, what? Wow. Yeah, no, that's horrible. It's like, and EpiPens are already hard enough to come by now because the price got jacked up. I think they have like a generic version of it that's way cheaper. That's the same stuff, but it's still like, man, come on, guys. Like, let people have the things that keep them from dying. But wasps make paper and some make honey. Yeah, and some of them I think just make spite. But like, I don't actively kill wasps unless they're like in a place that is gonna be very bad because I know they'll get agitated and sting people. But like, I never really go out of my way to kill anything in particular. Like, I had a wolf spider on the wall this morning and I was just like, oh, hey. And then I went back to my room because I was like, whatever, it's a wolf spider. They don't bite you, they just skitter around and eat bugs. Yeah, true. I mean, dicks have their uses. One of them shouldn't be in random people's DMs, though. Don't do that. It's rude. At this point, yeah, they were switched with each other. Sorry, we got into the conversation of wasps and dicks and stuff. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see. This is an image of Launchpad 1 corridor. Did you see anything different when we compared to the security footage? That number on the floor. Well, what do you know? Looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. And if this is just another bluff? Oh, don't worry, it's all right here. Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum. You know, I never would have noticed that too until we talked about this. Random public service announcement? Yeah, exactly. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum? This little bit right here, my good judgy sir. There's a 1 on the floor of Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor of the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. But what? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum. Ah! Well, you know, I'm here to help. This is also an educational stream, Chico. We talk about all kinds of things, and we learn things. Like how I learned about different kinds of hats. I actually have a Hamburg hat on the way. It might not show up until like late August or possibly September, but I'm going to wear that on Mystery Monday because it's a hat that you wear for mysteries. I mean, some people do. What letter of the day is it? Wait, what letter? What do you mean? Saturday, it's just an S. Wait. What letter? I'm sorry, I was like, wait, what? And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. I mean, you can tell it's not even filled with smoke. You said educational, so what letter are we learning? Oh, you mean kind of like, well, today is brought to you by the letter D for dicks. Because wasps are dicks, but they also contribute. Mosquitoes are also dicks. I don't really know what they contribute other than disease, but something probably eats them. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1. Frogs. What died? Wait, what died? Oh, your computer? Like, was it overheating or? Explosion occurred in Launchpad 1 on the side opposite, yeah. And now that we know the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down from the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level. Just incredible, the 2 launch pads were actually switched. But you think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude. Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Oh, we did it! We got his noise to 0. Using too much RAM at once, so you invest in some more RAM. Yeah, I mean, thankfully laptop RAM isn't too expensive. You could probably get a pretty decent stick of it for cheap. Just enough so you can like do games and things. Yeah. Oh, dragonflies eat mosquitoes? I guess that makes sense because they both hang out near the water a lot. Bye-bye. No more lies, Detective Cosmos. Director Cosmos. I keep saying detective. Sorry, they're both D's. This is also brought to you by the letter D for director. For director of bullshit is what he is. It's high time you told us the truth. Well, at least it should be faster for other things, like writing reviews and stuff like that. My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. Time to deploy the galactic engine. Ignition. What? It's gone haywire! Darg! It won't stop! Die! God, I hope you explode. Okay, Jesus, this is the longest freak out. No, not this way! God! What? Okay. But bailiff, on your steed and after that witness. I'm pretty sure his steed is his legs. Mosquito. Wikipedia, tell me about mosquitoes. And he's out of here, yeah. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm. Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads? I'll admit it's true. I switched launch pad 1 for the Space Museum. It's good to hear words I can believe for a change. Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum that it had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with. Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent, but I will say my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. The director is terrified. He must have one heck of reason for not wanting to explain why. Yeah, because he's the murderer. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh? Oh, no. Well, you're not that into panties, are you, Ecstatic? I mean, well, maybe that's just a weird question to ask anybody, but I'm pretty sure that you're a way cooler person than Wesley Stickler. Okay. Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars. All right. Oh, I didn't even realize all his stars had fallen off of his uniform. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say? I don't get it. Don't get it? What don't you get? Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us. Mr. Starbuck. Starbuck, my boy, I'm sorry, I can't tell you the reason why, but I had to do it to protect the Space Center. You didn't protect the Space Center, it was to protect your own dumbass, probably. Director, will I ever get the chance to go into space again? I want to go into space. Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy. The dream, it's still alive. Don't you do it before you know the entire story? Oh, no. Silence. Oh no, Blackwell. I don't know, I still don't like the director because he's super dumb and boastful and there's a lot of things wrong with him. You're You're not going into space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way. Shut up, Blackwell. You already can tell something's, fucked with this. Why are you so hung up on him? Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched. And if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum. Oh, that's a good point. God, he's right, I don't have any proof. Starbuck, you will spill everything you know. What? Me? Ah! Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood. God, I'm gonna die. I want to die in space. I have to do something. Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself. Ah! Yeah, take that, Blackwell. You know violence isn't the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. That annoyingly cheerful laugh. It can be none other than, yeah, your boy. Champion of righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. In justice we trust. Hi. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late. I don't believe we had an appointment. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady across the street. And then I had to break up a cat fight. I tell you, justice sure is a full-time job. Was it a fight between cats or... Why are you here again? Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Fulbright. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head, but have you finally succumbed? Nope, but it looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment. What evidence? Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence. Thanks to you two, I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm gonna work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. Oh, cool. I didn't think he was serious, though. So, what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? Better than sharing a birth here with Max Gala. Oh, yeah. Indeed, have a look at this! What's this, a lighter? That's right! A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has victim Clay Tarrant's blood, along with his killer's fingerprints on it. What? Ah! Order! Detective Fulbright, can I assume the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? You bet. Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent. This is it. This is just what I needed. Lighter added to the court record. Lighter found on the floor of the Space Museum. The true culprit's fingerprints are on it in the victim's blood. Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Phoenix Wright's fingerprints are on this. Actually, that'd be terrible. Oh, man. With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Tarrant, they escaped with lighter in hand to the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally the killer left through the boarding lounge too and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder. A fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there. But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Could he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time? Objection! You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had the time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Ugh. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what that means, don't you? This piece of evidence is unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit. Yeah, no, I mean, all of the 3D animations are done really well. I'm not gonna lie. This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims. As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbucks' pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. No, there must be some mistake. Oh, the voice clip? Oh, okay. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow... Oh, it ends the statute of limitations, probably. Fool bride who promised never to speak of that. Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent, in light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime. Oh, that's 15? Okay, well, I always forget. A few unanswered questions remain. So I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, not guilty. Whose fingerprints are on there? What is going on? Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright. Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you, and please thank Apollo for me, too. You all are the best. Oh, I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. Yeah, me too, but that's gonna have to wait. Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Objection.
It's too late to object, isn't it? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong. Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict? Fulbright, what were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? The results? Oh, well, I was in a hurry, you see, and there's that cat fight, and, well, I kinda got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbuck, so you dumb piece of shit. You have yet to read it? Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes? What? So says the report. What? What? Huh? Me? What? Excuse me? Wait, hello? But she... What? Order, I say. Oh, hi, Kat. How are you doing? Welcome on in. My favorite. Your favorite case. Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion. I don't know what you got on there, but I know I'm not the culprit. Oh no! This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece. I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it lead to this? Ah, no! Hi, Zunder! God, what have I done? Please forgive me, I'm sorry. Order, order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying. What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad. Order, order! I will have order! I don't think you're gonna have an order. Yeah. Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. So wouldn't that have been false evidence then, or planted evidence? It stumbled over the edge of reason into the jaws of a twisted darkness. Is it the dark age of the law? You're gonna say that again? It's truly the dark age of the law, guys. Turnabout for tomorrow. Save the game. Holy moly. Okay, that took a lot longer than I thought it would, actually. But I think it's just because there was so much talking. Let's go ahead and stop this recording for now.